Hey there, I am near Holbrook, Arizona at the Petrified Forest National Park. I have been really wanting to visit this national park for a long time, and today I'm here. So let's see what the Painted Desert and the Petrified Forest has to offer. This trip to Petrified Forest National Park will be split into 4 separate videos. So in this part we'll cover the world famous Painted Desert. So the first stop is going to be the Painted Desert Visitor Center. This visitor center is at the Painted Desert Community Complex, one of the most expansive projects of Mission 66. Mission 66 improved and modernized national park infrastructure during the 60s, and this complex was built between 1961 and 1965. Clearly the architecture isn't exactly rustic. It's a modernist international style complex designed to blend in with the environment. And remember, this would have been cutting edge in 1965. This mid-century multi-purpose complex, designed by Richard Nuestra, is unlike any other in the national parks. And it is a National Historic Landmark. Appropriately, there are some petrified wood stumps. We're going to be seeing a lot of those in this park. One building has a small diner with a jukebox, though I'm not going to eat here. And there is also an extensive gift shop. Now let's explore the Painted Desert. Here's a great first look at the Painted Desert at Whipple Point. Really, the desert extends to over 7,500 square miles around here, but this is perhaps the most colorful section of it. And here's a leftover from the Find Your Park initiative. Tawa Point has a slightly different view over the Painted Desert. The mudstone and sandstone rocks were deposited over 200 million years ago, when the Pangea supercontinent broke apart, and over time the rocks were deeply buried, then they were uplifted and eroded into the colorful badlands seen here today. That is really impressive. I will say there is not much in the way of petrified wood in the Painted Desert section of the park, but there are some clusters of stumps down there. I believe in the early days of the park there was much more petrified wood at the Painted Desert, but much was taken by visitors up until the 60s, so there isn't too much left. Most of the petrified wood is in the other sections of the park anyway. Over yonder is the next destination, a very historic national park inn. This is the Painted Desert Inn, an authentic rustic national park lodge. The original inn on this site was known as the Stone Tree House. It was built in the 1920s out of petrified wood, but it was built on a faulty foundation and had to be largely replaced with this Pueblo-style masterpiece in the 1930s. The Civilian Conservation Corps built the current structure between 1937 and 1940. After World War II, Mary Jane Coulter, who designed many fantastic classic buildings at the south rim of the Grand Canyon and did interior design for many of the region's Grand Harvey hotels, renovated the interior of the Painted Desert Inn. The Fred Harvey Company operated this hotel from 1947 to 1963 when it closed. This building was actually going to be demolished, but thankfully it was saved. So the Painted Desert Inn has not operated as a hotel for over 50 years now, but it has been restored as a museum. However, I am very disappointed to find it closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That really sucks, I was looking forward to this. Anyways, we can peek through some windows And take a look at this restored dining room. Looks like this was the kitchen for the hotel's restaurant. This hotel was located very close to the original route of Route 66, so this can technically be considered an authentic Route 66 inn, along with being an authentic National Park inn. This place is perfect for me. And let's take a peek at what a room looked like for travelers over 80 years ago. The Painted Desert Inn is also a National Historic Landmark. There are 2 National Historic Landmarks located within miles of each other here. There are also some outbuildings. Those may have been Pueblo cabins visitors could stay in. The Painted Desert Inn is perched atop a bluff overlooking the Painted Desert. So let's look at the views from the inn. That would not be a bad view to wake up to. Not bad at all. I will definitely be coming back to go through here after it finally reopens. Moving on to Pintado Point, facing toward the western side of the Painted Desert. You can see the Hopi Buttes and the San Francisco Peaks way off in the distance. There are some ravens that call the Painted Desert home, or maybe they're just tourists. Here at Whipple Point, there is a placard emphasizing the importance of the Painted Desert as a critical travel corridor. Lieutenant Whipple passed this way in 1853 while surveying a railroad route from the Mississippi River to the Pacific. Also, the Beale Wagon Road of the late 1850s passed right through here, along with the Overland Mail Star Route, a transcontinental railroad still here today, and the National Old Trails Highway, which was the predecessor of America's Main Street. There is also a placard about the conservation history here at Petrified Forest. Iowa Congressman John Fletcher Lacey championed the Lacey Act to protect plants and animals, along with the Antiquities Act to preserve historic places. He specifically cited and visited the Petrified Forest due to all the looting and damage being done. President Teddy Roosevelt did sign the act in 1906, and using that, designated Petrified Forest as the second national monument. Time to get some kicks on Route 66 here in the Petrified Forest National Park. Petrified Forest was the only national park that Route 66 passed through. And this is the location of the original routing of the Mother Road. This line marks the former site of Route 66, and from here it would have followed along this side of the telephone poles to Holbrook. So there is a reference point as to where it passed. However, here in the national park it has been completely replaced by dastardly Interstate 40, which can be seen in the background. To memorialize Route 66 here in Petrified Forest, they have the remains of a 1932 Studebaker, a car that would have passed right by here during the heyday. Most visitors to this national park were Route 66 travelers, and of course there is still lots of Route 66 roadside goodness nearby in Holbrook, which I have several videos on. Here's the hollowed out inside of the car. There were some roadside attractions within the park itself. Actually, right by this spot used to stand the Painted Desert Tower, an observation tower overlooking the Painted Desert. Sadly, it was demolished back in 1958, along with many other classic observation towers. I wish that were still here. Also near this spot was Painted Desert Park, also known as the Lion Farm. It was started in the 20s and had a roadside zoo with lions, and it was also demolished at some point. So all that's left to mark Route 66 here in the national park is the Studebaker, on the site where millions took the highway trip west to Southern California. This is really cool. Here Route 66 meets a national park. Those are two of my favorite things, so this is awesome. Well, that was the northern Painted Desert section of the Petrified Forest National Park. Now I'm going to cross over I-40 into the real innards of the world-renowned Petrified Forest. So make sure to check out my other videos here on the Puerto Pueblo, Blue Mesa, and the Rainbow Forest. I promise there is much more petrified wood in those. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos on national parks, Route 66, road trips, and all sorts of fun and interesting adventures. Thanks for watching.